Okay,
I'll
Alfie,
say
take
it.
over.
Even that's an understatement. Obviously, I asked you guys the question outside the stadium, like whether there would be another charity match.
Yeah.
Like, and we were all in sort of an agreement that if it is going to be another charity match, it should be like a continuous thing,
I
kind of
mean,
like
you
what the
didn't.
Wembley Cup used to be.
I mean, you didn't ask me outside the stadium because I wasn't invited. But
Yeah, you weren't at the game. How can I have asked you?
yeah, because I wasn't invited. I said, but whatever.
I wasn't invited. Bro,
Prime was definitely that kid. Prime was definitely that kid in school that used to say, if I'm losing during this football match, I'm taking my ball and going home.
Oh man, them dickheads, bruv. For fuck's sake.
Prime was definitely one of them.
Right.
Was you?
No, I wasn't.
I call bullshit.
All right. Alfred Wet calls bullshit. All right, guys.
But to answer your question, I think there will be. I just think either if they're going to do it here, there's no point doing it in another stadium other than just Wembley again, because people are going to get sick of Wembley. If the people that didn't go last time will go this time, or the people that enjoyed it this time will go again. But they'll probably try and take it abroad. As I said to you guys outside the stadium, but like that's what they've alluded to before. If they're going to do anything more with it, that's what they're going to do, and it will be America.
Yeah, you mentioned about an MLS stadium. The question is though, which one do they use?
Fuck knows. I don't know anything about MLS.
I think there's only one that they can use, and it's not even like an MLS only stadium.
I think with speed,
the Mercedes-Benz Arena in Atlanta.
Yeah, I think it could work. Like with speed and like Logan Paul, Mr. Beast being part of it.
AMP, yeah.
Like, I think you would have to do it in America. But the thing is, America's so huge of a country that, like,
not only that, like,
where would it? Because at least with England, doing it in Wembley makes sense because London's the capital. You know, Wembley's the national stadium. It makes sense. America's so big that, like, there's no one place where you could do it that everyone could go down.
Not only that, there's you don't really look at America as like a massive football country. Like they've got other sports over there. They've obviously got the NFL, NBA.
America, but again, there's a lot of people that watch the Sidemen YouTubers and also just like YouTube in general. That you could maybe not a football match, but you could do another charity sport there, like
dodgeball.
Like a basketball game or something like that.
Well, think about it. Think about it. Like even in Wembley, not everyone there was a football fan. There was a lot of football shirts, but there was not everyone there's a football fan. They're just Sidemen fans or KSI fans. Like so in America, they're probably gonna sell out if you advertise it more as the Sidemen are coming to America, featuring like Logan Paul, AMP, Mr. Beast, all that. Like people, there's going to be fans of them that want to see them play football, regardless. They're going to want to see them do anything.
I know, but doing it with football here makes sense because a lot of the Sidemen are like football fans and stuff, and in England, a lot of people are football fans. It makes sense to do it, but going to America, like. Unless you coincide it with the World Cup is going to be next year there. So I guess, again, going there next year actually makes even more sense now. And having a football game maybe before the World Cup even starts.
Or as like a warm-up match.
Yeah, makes even like what soccer do before the international tournaments. Like doing that actually makes all the more sense now.
I fully disagree.
Really?
Completely disagree. I don't think it will.
Brexit makes Brexit, may I hear you?
Not at all. I think it will be in the Allianz Arena in Munich.
Do you think they'll have a big German audience though?
Not necessarily, but it's a very close country. If anyone wants to, let's go to Germany. Also, a massive event being, let's go to the Allianz.
Not only that, it's another football appreciating nation.
Like there are still kids, teenagers that are fans of like the Sidemen or Logan Paul, Speed, etc. Like going to Wembley is not going to London is not far. London is the capital city. So if you live in say just outside London, or you live in like Birmingham, or something, or the Midlands, then like convincing your parents, can I go to London just for the weekend, watch a Sidemen game? Like,
Oh my god,
that's not that crazy. That's acceptable. But your parents would not allow you. But your parents won't allow you just to go to Germany by yourself. Your parents would more than likely would not want to go to Germany for that. That wouldn't make sense. That's why I'm saying America
that's upgrading to the next level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nah, but the next level would be America, because there's not enough of a. I mean, I don't know what their analytics would say, but they have enough of a German audience to fill out the stadium in Germany.
That's the thing I was referring to earlier, like Melon, when it comes to America, because their second thing would be
viewership.
America.
Yeah, I think America might even have the highest viewership. It's just way bigger country, way more people.
Also, for as long as Speed's there, I forget the pull Speed has, by the way, because like not only is like because Speed hasn't been around for a long time, but he's also been around. He did a whole tour around Africa. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. he toured around Africa. And he went to every
Europe as well.
Yeah, like, I think he's
Asia and
toured
South
around
America. He's done like a world tour, legit.
And I think he was planning to do one. If he hasn't done it already, around the Caribbean as well. So I think he's taking it worldwide. He's got a team around him that probably.
Oh, just don't let him touch down in Sydney, man. Just don't let him touch down in Sydney.
No, but Speed. Not everyone.
Sydney and then touching down in Sydney again.
Bro, Speed ever catches a case, man, I'm done. Sorry.
No, but everyone's gonna refer to that old clip of him. If he does.
What old clip?
Where he's like, "Who's gonna stop me?"
Oh my god.
But they are though.
Imagine that being brought up.
They would.
That being brought up in court would be crazy.
No,
it would be a good idea.
I'm just saying in general, because people would be like, "Oh, people should have seen this from the start. He was always like this." That's what they'll say.
Do you know what would be a good idea though? Like in terms if they were going to take the charity match abroad, go Brazil.
Did they have a big Brazilian audience? Though?
Never.
If they do, go there. America, no, big enough.
That's the thing. Like, where is the like? Because I think America and Australia are probably the second and third like biggest country like outside of England that they have audiences there, because obviously they speak English. Like they have big like we see like jokes aside about the Philly thing, like Chunks and Philly went there beforehand, and they didn't stop getting recognized. Yeah, Beta Squad as well. Like they all have massive audiences there.
That's why I'm saying.
Outside of that, what's like the biggest country outside of English countries though?
It's the US. Like again with the World Cup next year, it makes too much sense not to like just think about the American like influencers that were part of the Sidemen match today. You have Beast, Logan Paul, and Speed. Those are the three biggest by far. That's not a coincidence. It's for a reason. So it makes sense for them to go there next year. It makes too much sense.
And I know it's different because America's bigger, but like Americans can sell out. A lot of American probably like obviously A&P can't do a football event and sell out here on their own. Let's do Beta Squad versus A&P. That made sense and they sold out. But I get Crystal Palace, yes, cool. But like at the same time, it's still selling out a stadium, Like, it is different. It would be the biggest achievement to translate that back to America, regardless of how they brand it. Even if they did like Sidemen, also A&P are going to be here, also Speed are going to be here, Logan Paul, etc. Even if they branded it like we've got big American influences are like going to join or whatever. Even if they did brand it like that, it's still a massive achievement to do it in another country. I just think that they're going to take probably more time than they usually do. In like with the gaps in between the charity matches, I know this one was like a year and a half, so it's a bit more of a big gap than usual as well. But they're going to take an even bigger gap again to see how can we make this bigger, and if we don't, should we do it at Wembley again? They're probably going to consider all of that. I'm sure the conversation will come up straight away.
This is being planned. I think again, America makes too much sense. The World Cup is next year. Like if they pass up on this opportunity now, you're not going to get a more perfect chance than this to do it.
Honestly. But wouldn't it? But with the World Cup coming up next year, wouldn't it be a better idea to do the charity match after the World Cup? That way you can see how much like the States and Canada and Mexico appreciate football as nations. Because I get Mexico, they like football over there. I'm not too sure about Canada, but I know that the US ain't exactly a football appreciating nation. If you do it now in
Yeah,
the
better
States,
in
you're
the
gonna
US.
have a stadium filled with people who ain't gonna know what the fuck's going on.
No, but also
they
Alfie, like there's also going to be nations of like other fans traveling to those games anyway, so it wouldn't
True.
be the greatest to
which
test
is
that out.
why it makes sense to do it there. Like, because there's so much hype, going around for the World Cup. You have so many people from different nations traveling to America or Mexico, Canada for the World Cup. And a lot of those people, let's be honest, are going to be either fans of the Sidemen or JJ or Logan or Mr. Beast or Speed or whoever, Angry Ginge, whoever who's a part of it. Or you also have other Twitch streamers or YouTubers who who haven't played in this, who could actually be part of it, who are massive.
Like Queso. Well, like Queso.
Yeah.
Him in goal.
Also going on to that point, you know how we're all football fans beforehand, but we are YouTube fans afterwards. You know how the best. You're right, Prime, on the fact that doing the match before the World Cup would be great because a lot of Americans that are they might even be new to the whole thing. They might be watching it live on stream and seeing it in their own country. A lot of people will be fans of the sport at first by seeing people they actually like playing it first, and then seeing it professionally, they might enjoy it even more. Some people get into sports like that, but because we're football fans before, we obviously are just watching a football game, but it's funnier because it's like we already know these people. But some people get into the sport through people that don't actually play it.
Yeah, think of the football fans in America that have, or think of people in America over the last, let's say, 2-3 years who have got into football because they're fans of Speed, and that's how they found out about football. Maybe they already knew who Ronaldo was because he's like a mega celebrity, but they got into football, found out about Man United or Chelsea, Arsenal, the Premier League, Champions League because of Speed. Like Speed being on CBS, that's unlocking a big part of people who are just not into football at all.
Yep.
So again, it makes too much sense, especially to do it before the World Cup starts. So that means you're bigging up the buzz even more. The World Cup happens, whatever. Maybe America have a good tournament or whatever happens, and then maybe you do another match after the World Cup.
Yeah. Also, don't be surprised if one of the World Cup sponsors gets involved with the Sidemen charity match next year. They have that pool. All of their audience combined have that pool where they can even sponsor it themselves. It won't make a difference in terms of it'll still be viewed on YouTube because they want to keep it authentic to YouTube or whatever. But they'll authorize it as look, football is. They'll advertise the whole thing as football is coming to America.
Yeah,
that's how they're advertising.
Again, we know what Americans are like. They turn everything into a big spectacle. So why not do it? Yeah. They'll probably get an ex-American player to get involved, not a Landon Donovan, but a Dempsey,
Tim Howard.
Yeah.
Tim Howard's a good show.
You also have an ex-American player who's a YouTuber. I can't remember.
Jimmy Conrad. Jimmy Conrad.
Yeah.
Conrad would absolutely get involved. Absolutely.
Pundit. Let him be a pundit on the stream.
Oh yeah. Let him be a pundit.
He's a perfect crossover. Yeah, he was in the because Conrad was in the Wembley Cups. He's the perfect crossover.
Again,
we've already done it before.
You know what?
There you go.
You know what? KSI, take the year off, man. Let me plan.